Try some more time. The same rhythm, inhalation, the same rhythm, exhalation. Now, dharana. Focus your mind on a particular object is called as dharana. Now, let us visualize the Omkara at your Anahata Chakra, the middle part of your chest. Continuously visualize the Omkara, Pranava. Continuously meditate on that Pranava. Whenever your mind is going out, please bring it back and focus on your Anahata Chakra. Still more, if your mind is engaged outside, then have a long breath in and out for a few times. Then concentrate on your Anahata Chakra. Stop your practice. Take a long breath in and out. Keep your hands in Namaskar Mudra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Rub your palms. Keep your palms on eyes. Slowly open. Thank you. Namaste. Now we are going to have session by Swami Adisharanji Maharaj. Thank you.
Start our bhajans and chanting session. Some everyday shlokas we learn. గట్టిగా రిపీట్ చేయండి, రిపీట్ లౌడ్లీ. कारागृहे वसते लक्ष्मीः करमध्ये सरस्वती करमूले तु गोविन्दः प्रभाते करदर्शनम् समुद्रवसने देवी पर्वतस्तनमण्डले विष्णुपत्नीम् गंगे च यमुने चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदे सिंधु कावेरी जलेऽस्मिन् सन्निधिं कुरु। शुभं करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिर्विनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके देवी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमस्मरणान् भवेत्। रामं स्कन्दं हनुमन्तं वैनतेयं नृपाङ्गनं शयने स्मरे नित्यं दुःस्वप्नस्तस्य नश्यते। सर्वे भवन्तु भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्म हविः ब्रह्माग्नो ब्रह्मणाहुतम् ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यम् ब्रह्म कर्म समाधिनः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् Wow, fantastic see. Now one small bhajan we learn. One small bhajan on Lord Shiva. But today my voice is not good, that's why. Hari Vishnu bhajans. గట్టిగా రిపీట్ చేయండి, రిపీట్ లౌడ్లీ. భాగో మధుర హరినామ నిరంతర భాగో మధుర హరినామ నిరంతర भाग मधुर हरिनाम सरल भाव से हरि मदे दो सरल भाव से हरि मदे दो पावे सो सुख राम निरंतर पावे सो सुख राम निरंतर भजो मधुर हरिनाम निरंतर भजो मधुर हरिनाम हरि सुख है हरि शांति हरि सुख है हरि शांति हरि ही प्राण राम निरंतर हरे प्राण राम निरंतर भजो मधुर हरि नाम निरंतर भजो मधुर हरि नाम हरे पाप से मुक्त करे जो हरे पाप से मुक्त करे जो हरे पाप से मुक्त करे जो भजन करे हरि नाम निरंतर भजन करे हरि नाम निरंतर भजो मधुर हरि नाम निरंतर भजो मधुर हरि नाम। थैंक यू सर। वंदना जी।
Jai Ram Krishna. So today's Subhashitam, brother will do screen share. Till that we practice. Tyajedekam kulasyarthe त्यजेदेकं कुलस्यार्थे ग्रामस्यार्थे कुलं त्यजेत् ग्रामं जनपदस्यार्थे आत्मार्थे पृथ्वीं त्यजेत्। Tyajet means leaving. Just we are sacrificing or leaving something. That is tyajet. So what we should do means sacrifice, or what we should leave it means tyajet ekam kulasyarthe. Ekam means one person. So we can sacrifice one person for the sake of a family. If in one family, one person is doing all the wrong activities or whatever, means with him the entire family is disturbed. Going in a good way, due to one person, if it is fully disturbed, then we should leave that person for the sake of entire family. Because we are in everyday our life, we want more happiness. For that, we will sacrifice little happiness, right? In the same way, we have to sacrifice one person for the sake of family. Kulam. Kulasyarthe tyajam ekam. Tyajed kulasyarthe gramasyarthe kulam tyajet. In the same way, most of us, we really sacrifice one person for the sake of a family. But when coming to for the sake of the village, we must even sacrifice that family also. If with one family, you stick to one family, if you are just leaving that family, or it is not necessary for the good of the village, then we must sacrifice the entire family for the good of the village, because here also you are getting more good for the sake of the village. Village means so many group of families are called as one village. So in the same way, the third thing comes Gramam Janapadasyarthe. Janapada means the district or the state bigger than village. So Janapada is group of villages. Then what we have to do for the sake of group of villages, for the sake of Janapada, entire Janapada, even we must sacrifice one village. Okay, the last important thing, Atmarthe Prithivim Tyaje. Prithvi is more bigger than this Janapada, right? Group of Janapadas, this land. Prithvi is nothing but this worldly thing. Also, we can see the material world or whatever maybe. The whatever we see, the biggest thing. We always think for the name, fame, and everything, because we are in this earth. We think only up to this earth. So for the name, fame, everything we do. So Atmarthe Prithvim Tyaje. Prithvi is the bigger thing. We do all the activities for the sake of Prithvi only, in this world only. So Atmarthe, to know for the self-realization, for us, we must even sacrifice the entire Prithvi. So here our elders are telling, so little bit of sacrifice. If you want more good, then little good can be sacrificed. For example, whoever here coming, all the speakers and everything, they are telling very good habits to us, how we can develop the self-confidence. Last time, sir told the self-confidence, everything. So we must practice all these things. Now, while practicing, we'll get these type of difficulties. We want something. That time we must be clear that I want more big thing. I want bigger thing. For that thing, I am sacrificing this little thing. Whatever in daily activities or in entire life, we must remember this. Okay, practice it again. Tyajet means leaving it. Tyajedekam kulasyarthe gramasyaarthe kulam tyajet. Gramam janapadasyaarthe atmarthe prithvim tyajet. Two lines we do now. Tyajedekam kulasyarthe gramasyaarthe kulam tyajet. Gramam janapadasyaarthe atmarthe prithvim tyajet. One more time. Tyajedekam kulasyarthe gramasyaarthe kulam tyajet. Gramam janapadasyaarthe atmarthe prithvim tyajet. So shall I tell the entire Subhashitam? Okay. Without saying, you also try. Okay. Tyajedekam kulasyarthe gramasyarthe kulam tyajet. Gramam janapadasyaarthe atmarthe prithvim tyajet. Okay. Jai Ram Krishna. One more Subhashitam for today. This is also very important. Chaya manyasya kurvanti tishthanti swayamatape फलान्यपि परार्थाय वृक्षा सत्पुरुषा इव. Chaya means no anyone? Chayam, shadow, shade, whatever we get. Chayam anyasya kurvanti. Anyasya, we are talking about tree. What they do, actually trees give shadow to other, not ourselves like we, whatever we do. Chayam anyasya kurvanti. Tishtanti. Tishtanti means standing. Tishtanti swayam atape. Atape, anyone knows? Heat, right? Atapaha means that sun, full heat will be there. That is atapaha. Tishtanti swayam atape means the sun will be there. There the trees stand under the tree. Trees stand under the sun, and it takes all the heat from the sun. But it gives what? Chayam anyasya kurvanti. It gives shadow to others. Chayam anyasya kurvanti. Tishtanti swayamatape phalanyapi pararthaya. I think all of us know this. Pararthaya means for the sake of others. Phalani means fruits. Trees give fruits for the sake of others. Phalanyapi pararthaya vrikshaha satpurusha iva. Trees are like satpurusha. Satpurusha means true or the sajjana, good people, real great people, all the sadhus and everything. So here in this Subhashitam, we are comparing trees and great good human beings are alike, same. There is no difference. So when we come to good people, what we see, actually all the good people we see, Vivekananda, APJ Abdul Kalam, if we read their life, everywhere struggles will be there, too many struggles. But what they have given, they are not troubling us because they got so many troubles. They are giving the ways in which way you can easily go forward in your life. That is the resemblance like tree. Trees are standing in the sun, but they are giving shade to us the same way sadhus do. So many people think, why sadhus sit there in Himalayas and meditate? What we are getting out of it? Entire day in their mind, they're only meditating is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. Every human being or every being must be happy, good. They all must get the good thing. In this way only all the sadhus think. The entire day and night they struggle for this. So all of us must be like, see, we cannot become like trees. Suddenly leaves will not come, fruits can't be come with us, but we can become Satpurusha, good human beings. How can we become good human beings? We must face all the difficulties, but when we are giving something to the others, we must try to give the good things to others. That is like Satpurusha. One more time we'll practice. Astu. Chayamanyasya kurvanti Tishtanti swayamatape Phalanyapi pararthaya Vriksha satpurusha iva. So after learning Subhashitam, you can tell the Subhashitam at your home and your friends and everything. Whenever we teach something, then only we get it. This is my personal experience. When we tell this to at home or anywhere, then we'll get the real meaning, because this is human nature. Whenever we want to express anything, that time only we do research and real meaning will come out of us. So all of you try to tell this Subhashitam to others. One more time, two lines. Chayamanyasya kurvanti tishtanti swayamatape. Phalanyapi pararthaya vriksha satpurusha iva. One more time. Chayamanyasya kurvanti tishtanti swayamatape. Phalanyapi pararthaya vriksha satpurusha iva. Now entire Subhashitam one time and we'll leave this. Chaya manyasya kurvanti tishtanti swayamatape phalanyaphi pararthaya vriksha satpurusha iva. Dhanyavadaha. Jai Ram Krishna.
Namaste, Jai Ram Krishna. Today it is a special day for us. Today our speaker, Dr. Samir Nandan sir, who is a great doctor and a philosopher, and we are very much fortunate to have his lecture on this special occasion. The topic on stress management. Sir is having a wide knowledge on various things. So I humbly request Dr. Samir Nandan sir to take over the session. Thank you very much.
Everyone, please stand up. Thank you. Please sit down. Alert. I'm starting the session with a prayer. Those of you who know this, chant alongside. Not repeat after me, chant along with me. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. This evening, we really had a wonderful practical session on stress management. We already finished it. So I'm going to add a few things more now. I'm sure all of you have already attended to the stress management session today, right? No? No? Okay, let me see. Maybe I'm a bit confused. Before I go into explain about stress, let me tell you a real life example. Around a few months ago, a patient came to me. I have known that patient for a long time. He was always very well controlled. He's a diabetic. His fasting sugar would be in the range of 100. After food, the sugar would be in the range of 150, 160, 170 with medication, of course. So he's doing really well. Suddenly, during one visit, the sugar report came as 330 fasting, 440 postprandial. This is a real incident, by the way. This is a real incident. So I was like surprised. I asked him, sir, what's wrong? Have you stopped taking medicines? He said, no, sir. Very systematically, I have been consuming all the medicines. Then I asked, sir, did you stop exercising? He said, no, sir. I'm very regular with my walk. I walk 50 minutes in a day. Then how come your sugars are like this? Then when I dug deep into the issue, finally I found the answer. Somebody in the family was creating a lot of trouble. The whole family was upset. As a result, he was so much stressed out. He could not stop thinking. He could not stop worrying. He could not solve the problem. And as a result, while following everything, still the sugars shot up. How much? Not for 50, 20, 100 points, 200 milligrams. Now you know what stress means and what stress can do. Clear? So let me define stress. What is stress? In my definition, any unpleasantness in mind is called stress. My own definition. Any unpleasantness in mind is stress. In common parlance, it is called tension. Now, what happens if somebody is stressed out all the time? Who is that somebody? Everybody. Right answer. All of us are sailing in the same boat. All of us are stressed out. So what happens if you are stressed out over a long period of time? Let us say days and weeks and months together. First of all, the heart gets faster, the heartbeat gets faster, and you will be able to listen or feel your own heartbeat. That symptom is called palpitation. And after that, the blood pressure starts to increase. And after that, over a period of 4 to 6 months, a whole list of diseases will begin. For your own understanding, let me explain what can happen with stress. Hair fall and graying of hair. Everybody is telling me today, these days, sir, I'm only 20 years old, my hair is graying. What could be the reason? Yeah, stress is the reason. Number 2, migraine headache. Have you heard of migraine? No. Migraine is one of the commonest diseases in the neurology OPD these days. Tension, headaches, one-sided headaches or both-sided headaches. Third thing is stroke. Stress over a long period of time can result in high BP and then stroke, paralysis, and heart attack. Somebody who is stressed out for years together will develop heart attack. Next in line is gastric acidity. Increased acid in the stomach, burning, burping, whatnot. It's a whole spectrum. And gastroesophageal reflux disease. After this, there will be diabetes, blood sugar. And then inflammatory bowel disease. Have you heard of it? Or irritable bowel syndrome. For some people, they could not control their motion. Every day, there will be about 10 to 20 loose stools. Every day. Irritable bowel. Stress is again the reason for it. So let me stop here. So there are any number of physical illnesses because of tension alone. Now, let us have a look at what happens to the mind as a result of stress. A whole spectrum of mental diseases again. To start with, you will lose your sleep. You cannot sleep peacefully. You should come and sit with me to see how many people complain to me about lack of sleep. What is the condition called? Anybody? Insomnia. Yeah, stress leads to insomnia, which is lack of sleep. And then compulsive disorder. You know, you have seen a movie maybe recently, obsessive compulsive disease. Many people are showing it up on social platforms, movies. So you cannot stop yourself. You go on catching hold of one habit that will go on and on and on. That can happen in stress. Then something called bipolar disorder, which means one day you will be a saint, another day you will be a Satan. So split personality, schizophrenia, call it whatever you want, bipolar disorder and maniac depressive illness. What does it mean? Sometimes you will start a work and you will be like Lord Hanuma in finishing the work. And someday you will be like a sloth. Nobody can wake you up from your bed. So extremes in behavior, mood swings. So any number of diseases can happen because of stress. And not to talk about depression and suicidal tendencies. You know that. Now, let me explain to you why this condition called stress actually happens. We are all stressful. Why? There are 8 major reasons. Number 1, we live either in the past or in the future. We will be always thinking of our past. Say, for example, if you are doing a particular job and you are earning certain amount of money, but you will be wondering, only if I had studied some other course, I would have got a better job and better salary. Or you will be thinking of future. You will be sitting here, but you will be thinking of things to do tomorrow, Monday. So body in Ramakrishna mission, mind in your job already. So the mind has a trouble dealing with this. Human mind is not equipped to deal with past or future. It simply doesn't know how to deal with past and how to deal with future. As a result, what happens? Stress. What is the next reason? Number 2, negative comparison. Negative comparison. We tend to compare ourselves with people around us, or colleagues, friends, neighbors, everybody. We compare. And how do we compare? In a negative way. For example, you will be having a bike. Let me say Splendor, Hero Splendor. Your friend suddenly buys a Ducati, let us say Harley Davidson bike, if you know that, if you know what it means. Suddenly you will start thinking, oh my God, this fellow has got Harley Davidson, I've got only Splendor. When will I go to Harley Davidson level? Or you may be having a Maruti car, let us say. Suddenly an Audi zooms past you. Oh my God, I'm still in my Maruti. When do I progress to Audi, Benz? Or I can give any number of examples. Let us say, many people don't speak of this, but it does happen. You will get married. After a little while, you will think, only if I have got a different partner or more handsome husband or more beautiful wife, it would have been maybe a little more better. So you compare. You compare every step of your life with your friends, colleagues, neighbors, and everybody. As a result, just by comparison, do you get what you want? Just because you compared yourself with somebody, are you going to get it tomorrow? It doesn't happen. But what will happen? Stress. Just see, stress is not a simple thing. It is multi-pronged. Number 3, expectations. Stress is because of expectations, and this is of 3 kinds. Number 1, others have certain expectations on you. For example, your father and mother will think you should be in certain way. You should do certain things. If you don't do it, they are unhappy, and their unhappiness will reflect upon you. You will also be unhappy. Second type is expectations you have on others. Let me quote again the husband and wife example. You will get married and you will have certain preconceived notion about your spouse. You will think, okay, my wife should behave like this and this. If she behaves in a different way, gone. Maybe you love Abbattu and Pulihara, but your wife is an expert in Chinese. Gone. This is also a stress. And also, it's the same applies to the wife also. She will feel the husband has to spend 1.5 hours with me at least. Okay, I don't mind him spending 12 hours in the office, but after coming home, he should spend 1 hour with me at least. But maybe the husband is too tired. Maybe he just wants to have a tea and nap. Or maybe he just wants to move out. Who knows? And so those kind of expectations really, really hurt. Hurt whom? Ourselves. So that is another form of stress. And third thing, many people don't think about this. This is very important. Expectations of yourself on yourself. They hurt a lot. You expect a lot about yourself. I expect a lot about myself. For example, I want to wake up at 5 o'clock, Brahma Muhurta. Suddenly, I will find that it is difficult and I will wake up at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Immediately, I am upset with myself. What a lazy fellow I am. Why am I unable to wake up at 6 o'clock? So you become hard on yourself. You can't forgive yourself. You will want to do certain good thing, but for some reason you are unable to do it. You want to maybe reduce your time on mobile, but still you are addicted to your mobile and you are angry on yourself. So that self-criticism over a period of time becomes stress. The next reason is desire. In Arishad Varga, what is the first one? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Number 1 is Kama, desire. Desires lead to stress. And have you ever thought, is there any end to desire? Any end to desire? As a child, let us say, remember your first class, second class. What did you want when you were studying first class, second class? Think. Remember, what did you ask your parents? Chocolate? Toys? Biscuits? Yes, that was your desire and that was very important to you. If you did not get your chocolate at that time, what did you do? Tantrum, cry. Yeah? So make a scene at home, or you want a toy, you will go to the market. Suddenly you will see a rotating fan, that wind fan. Ma, I want it. No, ma, you already have so many fans. I will not buy you this time. Stand there, thump your feet and cry. But as you grew up, maybe you got fond of books. Or these days kids don't read books, but in our days we were fond of books. So after a while, when we were in a teenage and late teenage, slowly the attention shifts towards the life partner. Okay, I should get such a kind of person. It's this much of money, this much of beauty or whatnot. So these desires, after that you will get a job. Maybe you got 25,000 worth job, but you want 50,000 worth job. Or if you have got 50,000 job, you will not stop there. You will want 1 lakh rupees job. And if you are getting 1 lakh per month, trust me, you will not be satisfied. You will want 3 lakhs per month. Don't tell this outside, but the politicians who have already got, let us say, 1,000 crores behind them, oh my God, they are so poor. They want so much more. How much can one man spend in one lifetime? Can we spend 1 crore? I don't know. I can't spend 1 crore. If I get 1 crore, I will retire today. So, but 100 crores is also not sufficient for that person. Remember, desires never have an ending. So what is the way out? I won't tell you now. Number 5. Many of us, I should not say many of us, many people outside this room spend a life of lie. They're not truthful. Lying to somebody is so easy to them, just like eating a chocolate or eating a cake. For even simple things, they lie. Say, for example, they will give you some time, some appointment. I'm going to come to you at 4 o'clock, sir. 4:10, they won't show up. You will call them. Where are you? Sir, I'm just here. I will be there in 2 minutes. That 2 minutes will never come. You wait for 15 minutes and still the person will be 2 minutes away from you. So lying, this is all lying. I'm giving small examples, but people lie for very big things also. So somebody who lives a life of lie is bound to be stressful. Nobody can save him. He is or she is in stress all the time. And also living for self. Nenu bagundali, na family, enough. I should be fine, my wife and children, my parents. See, people even don't think of their in-laws. Only parents, okay. If my parents are fine, that is enough. My mother-in-law, father-in-law, atta, mama, it's okay. Somebody else will take care, not my job. That much selfish we have become. No, somebody who lives for our own family, for our own self, bound to be stressful. Number 6, wrong lifestyle. Our life comprises of 4 things: food, sleep, work, habits. We are eating wrong food. Am I wrong? No, I'm not wrong. We are eating wrong food. Most of us are eating wrong food, junk food, and too much. Most of us are eating too much. Let me explain to you later on. Second thing is, we have so improper sleeping habits. That gives a lot of stress. Third thing is sedentary. We are so sedentary. We don't work, we don't run, we don't walk, we don't go to gym, we don't do dance, we don't do aerobics. We don't want to do anything. We want to sit in front of the computer, finish the job for the day, catch our mobile and sleep. So sedentary. We have to break up our sedentary lifestyle. What should we do for that? Please stand up once again. Stretch your hands. Twist your trunk like this. Beautiful. If you can, please bend and touch your feet. Again, get up, jump once, sit down. Thank you. This is what you should do every half an hour in your day in front of your computer. Very important. If you are sitting all the time, it is worse than smoking. You know that? You heard about it? Sitting long hours, sitting for more than 6 hours is equal to smoking 10 cigarettes in a day. Careful. And habits, of course, smoking and drinking alcohol. That's what I meant by habits. Now, number 7. Too much of passion or too much of distaste also lead to stress. If you love something too much, if you love some work too much, that leads to stress. You become workaholic. There are many workaholics. They want to spend their whole time doing that work. They are not really worried about family. They don't want to give their time to anybody. They are lost in their own world. They are very passionate. They are very committed in their work. But they will become stressful over a period of time. Too much of involvement in any work is not good. Same time, distaste. If you do not like the work that you do, that also brings stress. If you like it too much, or if you don't like it also, you are bound to become stressful. Now, and the last reason is choosing the world over God. You have to have your discrimination. Are we intelligent? Not many people responded. Don't you believe you are intelligent? I really know if you are sitting today in this youth forum, you are intelligent. Forget about everything else. If you are here, you are intelligent. I know it for sure. Now, if we are intelligent, what should we choose? Something which will disappear over a time or something which lasts forever? What do you want? Say, for example, somebody offers you 5 lakhs rupees freely. Just take this 5 lakhs rupees. And another person will offer you a job worth 50,000 lifetime. Which one will you choose? 5 lakh or 50,000 job for lifetime? 50,000 job for lifetime. Now tell me, so-called world. World means our parents, family, spouse, children, our wealth. How far they will last? How far do we last? So who lasts forever? God. Now that I told you the 8 major reasons for stress, let us quickly find answers for the same. Our first problem, we are living either in the past or in the future. How do we solve it? Live in the present. Live now. Don't think of tomorrow. Have you seen crows on the beach road? Crows, kaki. Do you think crow worries about tomorrow? Are we inferior to even crow? If crow is not worrying about tomorrow, human being with a great human brain, we are worrying about tomorrow. Why? See, there is a scientific research. 99% of imagined fears will never happen. Remember this point. We are afraid of so many things. We are worried about future. Say, for example, we send our kid to school. The kid is in the auto. We start worrying. Will she go? Will she be all right? Will she go to school fine? Or somebody of our kith and kin will be traveling in train, aeroplane, whatever. We'll be wondering, oh, will they be safe? I hope there will be nothing wrong. I hope there will be no accident. So these are all imaginary. So we imagine so many things. So we try to live in future. For that, the solution is live this moment. Live now. Present has got past and present has got future. Future is in the present, right? The tree is in the seed. Tree is in the seed. Future is in the present. Let us use it well. That is why it is called omnipresent in a way. Present has got past, present has got future. So combined it is called omnipresent. Number 2, I told you about negative comparison. What is the answer, solution for this? Positive comparison. What is positive comparison? My personal deity, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba told us a quotation once. Karu ledani బాధపడకు, కాళ్ళు ఉన్నాయని సంతోషించు. Don't feel sad that you do not have a car. Feel grateful that you have legs at least to walk. He also said, తేలు కరిచిందని బాధపడకు, పాము కరవలేదని సంతోషించు. Don't feel sad that scorpion has stung you. Be thankful that snake did not bite you. That is positive comparison. You compare yourself with somebody who doesn't have food to eat. You compare to somebody, if you got married, say for example, think of all those people who did not find a spouse, who are not married, who are trying to get married but unable to marry for whatever reason. Feel happy that at least you are married. If you got a kid, and if the kid is naughty and mischievous and behaving bad, think of somebody, some parents who did not have kids. Be happy that you have a kid. So have a positive comparison. Don't compare yourself with somebody, something huge. No, not necessary. And secondly, realize that you are unique. All of us are unique. Now, please compare a jalebi with an AC. I want you to compare between a jalebi sweet and air conditioner. Tell me a few points. That sounds absurd, isn't it? How can what is there to compare between AC and jalebi? Each one of us is like that. We are unique. There is no comparison for us. We are so special. We are so unique. God spent time in designing us, our hair, our eyes. He chose this for us, our body, our mind. Be happy that we are unique. Don't compare. Never compare yourself with anybody for whatever reason. Now, this is so important, friends. So important. Expectations. Others are expecting something from you. You are expecting something from others. And you are expecting so much from yourself. How do you solve this problem? By becoming your own mother. Now, imagine you are standing in front of your mother. Your mother will tell you to do something. Beta, please do this for me. You will say, no, ma, I'm busy now. I won't do it. Will she stop talking to you? Will she stop cooking for you? Will she start hating you? Is she disturbed by you? No. Within 1 hour, she's ready with a garam meal for you. So we have to have that motherly attitude towards everybody. We should be the mother. Let the husband be the mother for the wife. Let wife be the mother for the husband. Let kids be the mother for parents. Let parents be mother for kids. So let us, even in friendship, we should be the mother. Not only for others, even for our own self, we have to be like mother. If we want to do something and we failed to do something, don't hurt yourself. Don't scold yourself. If your mother is standing in front of you, what would she say? It's okay, beta. Try next time once again. That's what she will say. So for us, we have to be kind to our own self. Next, desires. I told you, never-ending stream of desires. How do we solve them? Simple. Don't desire anything from now. Over. Story. The end. Is it possible not to have any desire? Is it possible? Impossible. Impossible to live without desires. So my solution would be, keep them small. Have desires, keep them small. For example, you are earning 10,000 in a month. Don't think of buying what is a Duke bike. Yeah, Ducati. So think of buying something which costs maybe 60,000 on EMI. Maybe you can spend 1,000 on EMI per month. That is fine. If you are getting 25,000 salary per month, don't think of some exotic holidays just because your friend went to Maldives. Don't think of that. Maybe you can plan something like Kodaikanal, Araku, fine, enough. So let us have our desires, but let us keep them small, reachable, within range. If we are earning 10,000, it's okay to spend 500 on our fun and frolic. We can enjoy, but don't spend 1,000 when you are getting 10,000. No. So have your desires, keep them small. Next, what is the reverse of life of lie? Life of pi. Who knows life of pi? Nobody? Only one. You have not watched movie? I don't know whether I should mention these things here in ashrama. I do watch movies. Life of pi. That person, a little boy, will be stuck on a ship with a tiger. With a tiger, he will stuck on a boat in the ocean for days and weeks together. He will survive. Life of pi means life of hard work. So, okay, I was only joking. Anyways, the reverse of life of lie is life of truth. So easy to speak truth. So difficult to lie. Personally, I never lie. And I'm so peaceful all the time. Somebody who lies, they have to think of so many reasons to justify. You have to add one more lie to that lie, one more lie to that lie. And as a result, you're so stressed all the time. You are afraid all the time. But if you are speaking truth like Mahatma Gandhi, yes, we are so happy and peaceful. Yesterday was October 2nd, Gandhi Jayanti. So let us be thankful to such Mahatmas. Let us live a life of truth and a life of seva. What is seva? Service? What is seva? Some people will answer, sir, taking the blind man across the street, sir. Sir, giving donation to the beggar on the street, sir. Sir, going to orphanage and giving some charity. Okay, that is also seva. But can you do that every day? Think of something which you can do every day. So, one beautiful definition of seva is do something which is required to your neighbor or your immediate person next to you at that given point of time. For example, your mother is cooking and you have little free time. Go and help her in cooking. Cut vegetables. If your father is going for shopping, maybe you are a little bit free at that time. Take the bag from his hands and go out. That is a great seva. Day before yesterday, my wife, three days ago, my wife went to Hyderabad. I was a little hesitant. Actually, I had to go along with her. But in that case, I would have missed this class. We were thinking what to do, how to send her alone, and she has to roam a lot, so many works to do. And suddenly, our mission volunteer, Vandana, who has given the beautiful talk on Subhashitam, she volunteered. Anaya, I will go. With Vandana, I will go. That's only one day. I can manage. I can take leave. I will help her out. And another day, when my wife went out, when I was not having food, I was depending on only restaurants. And my friend sister here, Manasa, she asked, Anaya, I will bring breakfast for you. This is all seva. So every day, think of small favors, small help that you can do to your neighbors, friends, family. Your life will be so free of stress, believe me. Next, wrong lifestyle. See, here also, I'm not telling you to become a wonderful human being from tomorrow itself. You cannot suddenly change your diet, suddenly sleep at 9 o'clock and wake up at 4 o'clock. No, you cannot do that. So try your best, make it moderate. Make it moderate. If you are sleeping at 12 o'clock, try to sleep at 11 o'clock. If you are waking up at 7 o'clock, wake up at 6 o'clock. Don't aim at 5 o'clock. Be moderate, be reachable. Have small targets. And if you are used to eating junk food, pizza, burger, whatnot, instead of eating it twice or thrice a week, maybe have it once in 10 days or 15 days, or maybe once a month. So enjoy your life reasonably. And to my many patients, they come and tell me, the family will complain, sir, my husband, he smokes 15 cigarettes per day, sir. You tell him to stop it immediately. The patient will stop coming to me if I tell him stop cigarettes immediately. That is not the way. I will tell them, sir, is it possible to reduce 1 or 2 cigarettes per day? They will say, they will do it. They will say, sir, sure, from tomorrow I will smoke only 13 cigarettes per day. That is my promise to you. It happened n number of times in my life with my patients, n number of thousands. And they will stand by their word. They will, next time I will make it 9, next time I will make it 7. So gradually we'll improve a lot. Same way, all your food and sleep or whatnot, have reachable goals, work on them, slowly achieve progress. Number 7, I told you about workaholism, too much attached to work, or the other extreme, too much hatred, dislike towards work. What is the solution for that? One very simple solution. Whatever you do it for God. Over. So simple, so simple. If we want to do something for God, how do we do it? My sisters will tell here. If you are cooking an Naivedyam for God, how are you going to cook? Are you first going to take your bath or not? Are you going to clean your hands or not? Will you be listening to some nonsense film songs while preparing Naivedyam? No. You may want to hear some devotional bhakti songs, right? So when we are thinking of something to do for God, naturally the whole mood changes, whole mind changes, right? So if we start doing our work as an offering to our God, you will stop hating the work. You will stop loving the work too much. It is your job to just do it as a puja to God. That is called Sarva Karma Bhagavat Prityardham. Please repeat. Sarva Karma. I'm talking not to tell you something. No, I started my speech with a sloka and I started with, what did I say after Sahana Vavatu? What was the thing I said? Sri Krishnarpanamastu. Yes, this lecture is not for you, not for me. This is for my Krishna, my Sai, my Guru. So whatever you do, please do it for your God. You trust me, your God will be so happy. Your God or my God, okay, God is one. That God will be so happy. And your stress will be gone. You are not worried about the result. Otherwise, you are worried about your targets. Oh my God, month end is coming, I did not get money. Oh my God, there are so many targets to reach. When should I finish the targets? Oh my God. So all these oh my Gods will be gone. If you are working your best and offering to God, be happy. God is happy with you. If God is happy, whole world is happy with you. Relax. And lastly, I spoke to you about choosing world over God. But there is another way. Choosing God over world. This is the difference between Kauravas and Pandavas. Duryodhana, for him, self comes first. Me first. First I should be happy. First I should get everything. Then he will think of world. But Arjuna was not like that. Of course, Duryodhana will first think of himself. Then he will think of the world around him. And finally God. God comes last. But for Arjuna, it is reverse. God is first. Then comes world. Lastly, myself. So for the sake of world, if I am suffering a bit, that is fine. Vandana told us today, for the sake of family, one person can be left. For the sake of village, family can be left. Likewise, this is the same thing. For the sake of God, God is the priority. Again, Baba told us a small phrase. Always think of joy. What is joy? What is joy? Happiness. No. Joy. J-O-Y. J is Jesus, God. O is others. And why? You. J-O-Y. Jesus or God first, others next, you last. Once we start living like that, we are free from stress. So, dear friends, my class has come to a conclusion. My 40 minutes are over. You have learned 8 real foolproof ways of fighting stress. Once you start applying these principles, I told most of you to come with notebooks and make a note of these points because I'm not sharing the slides with you. No, I'm sharing. Anyways. Okay, so once you start practicing these 8 principles from now itself, slowly and slowly you will be free of stress. Yes or no? No. You won't. I'm not joking. Why? Be very serious. Be very attentive. Please listen to me with all your focus. You have listened to all the 8 points. They are not going to help you reduce stress. Absolutely not. Imagine you have to swim. You don't know how to swim, but you have read a textbook on swimming. You will explain. First, you have to jump headlong into water. Then first wave your right hand, then bring the left hand and slowly flap your feet. You will move forward. But jump into the pool and somebody has to fetch you out. All this is like that only. The entire slideshow is like that only. This is all theoretical. Okay, let me not say nonsense, but theoretical garbage, junk. No, these are all harsh words. Okay, this is all theory. Theory will never work. Theory will never work. What will work? Practice. And the real stress management lecture was already finished by the time I started my lecture. This is how I began my talk. You remember? I told you, we are already finished with stress management. The real cure, the real remedy for coming out of stress is this one slide. Number 1, 30 minutes of exercise are yogasanas. Either you walk or you run or you bicycle or you practice yogasanas. If you ask me, yogasanas are my favorite. They work the best compared to any other aerobic. 30 minutes per day you have to spend on this. And 10 minutes you have to spend on deep breathing. That is called pranayama. 10 minutes on pranayama, followed by 10 minutes of concentration. We had a wonderful session of meditation just before we began. Anil sir was there. Maybe that is the holiness, sanctity of this ashram. I was so absorbed. Normally my meditation is not so good. I'm so easily disturbed with so many thoughts. But today I have done much better than what I have been doing because of the environment here. So anyways, we have to try to focus for 10 minutes. If you are unable to focus your mind, I will give you one tip. Light a candle, light a diya, 3 feet in front of you. Open your eyes and keep looking at it straight. Try not to blink your eyes as to the best of your capacity. Keep looking at the jyoti for 10 minutes. Let water come out of your eyes. That is okay. But that is called concentration. So you have to practice these 3 things, 30 plus 10 plus 10, that came to 50. And finally, good book reading. Why? Why should we read good books? Because we have to be motivated. We have to remain motivated. Today you listen to me. This motivation will last until tomorrow. 2 days. I'm very successful then. Great. So I could impress you for 2 days. I don't trust it. 1 hour. This inspiration will stay for 1 hour only. We have to self-inspire us. And the best way to do it is good book reading. Who will give talks every day? And who will listen even if somebody is giving talks every day? Nobody will listen. For that, choose a good book. My personal favorites, I'm telling you, it is all worth taking a photograph of this slide. Please have these 4 books with you. Number 1, The Power of Now by a great Britain realized master, Eckhart Tolle. Power of now. These are life changers. 2, the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This will really connect you to God in a never before kind of way. You will start feeling so much love for God. If you have that, you have everything. Number 3, the divine romance by Swami Yogananda, Paramahamsa Yogananda. So he explains all the day-to-day aspects of life in a very scientific way. He is also another great saint. And number 4, a book called Sadhana by Swami Sivananda. Swami Sivananda was the person who told Abdul Kalamji that, okay, don't get worried that you did not get the job. One day you will become something great in the country. Then he became president of India. Okay, that's a different story. But yeah, that same Swami Sivananda's Sadhana. Please purchase these books, all these 4 books, start one after the other. Spend 10 minutes on reading these books every day. Then you will be able to do the first 3 steps. Yes, I think the divine romance may have been translated and gospel is translated. Sir, gospel is available definitely. Divine romance will also be available in Yogada Satsang Society stores. There is one in Lawson's Bay. It is available there. Sadhana, I have to search. Power of Now, I think it is not yet translated. And the English is also tough. Yeah, English is really tough in Power of Now. So dear friends, please keep these points in mind. I thank God. I thank Sri Ramakrishna Mission. And I thank you all. I thank my parents. I thank everybody for getting this opportunity. Let us all lead a stress-free life from tomorrow. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet.
Thank you very much, sir. It is a wonderful speech, like Ashtanga problems and Ashtanga solutions. You have taken us from some place to the spirituality, from our regular day-to-day life to the higher life. We are very much thankful you for this wonderful session, and we also request you for next this type of sessions. We will definitely ask you. Thank you very much, sir. Now we are going to have our concluded sessions by our Swamiji.
Once again, we all very thankful to our Dr. Samir Nandanji. So we conclude this wonderful, very inspirational session. If possible, Namaskara Mudra. Gattiga repeat loudly. Natvaham kamaye rajam na swargam na punarbhavam kamaye dukkhataptanam pranina nashanam sarvastarata durgani sarvo bhadrani pashyatu sarva sadbuddhimapnotu sarva sarvatra nandatu durjana sajjano bhuyat sajjana shanti mapnuyat shanto muccheta bandebhyo मुक्तश्चान्यान् विमोचयेत् स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि प्रीयतां पुण्डरीकाक्षः सर्वयज्ञेश्वरो हरिः तस्मिन् तुष्टे जगत्तुष्टम् प्रीणिते प्रीणितं जगत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।